Hello, hello. Good morning, good night, happy afternoon and evening, and wherever you are, good that. Oh, there goes my mic. How's everybody doing today? Um, as you know, this is Marsh Makes Comics. I did change it back to that. If you watched my last video, you know that. But it's been a while since my last video, and but I had to come back. I had to return to help a brother out, somebody who has been an awesome support to so many different people out there making comics and being part of the community. And Mr. Mario Marv the Sin Killer, welcome to the channel, man. I think this is the first time you've been on my channel, actually.
Yeah, I think so, and I'm honored to be here. Thank you so much. That
Mm.
that's awesome.
Any,
Thanks.
anytime, man. Once I saw that you finally were getting your thing off the ground and into Indiegogo, I was like, oh, I gotta help him out because he's been nothing but supportive with all of us. So that's
Thank you.
awesome, man. I'm so happy to see where you've from where you've come to where you're at, and it's been a journey, I think, for you, huh?
Yeah, crazy journey, and the virus has been a blessing for me. I know it's been a curse for many people, but for me and other creators like me who was like walking in the shadows, they it was a way for us to be noticed and to
Yeah,
be yeah, and I've met incredible people, and the support has been overwhelmed, and I don't know what else to say. Just that I'm been very lucky. I'm publishing my first comic. I have already my already for the time that I started this 2 years ago. I was honored to be on a great book published by Arrow Comics, the Indie Volt Revolt, a book, and yeah, it will come out soon in August. The magazine, and the Arrow Comics is coming back. Randy Zimmerman is bringing back the first indie publisher. So it's awesome. It's gonna be a great year for Arrow, and I'm honored to be in the first book of that publishing company. Yeah, awesome.
yeah, that's really cool, man. That's exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically, I do want to talk about, basically making comics against all odds. I think it's going to be interesting to get into this. But first, I do want to make sure we let everybody know, the Indiegogo that you got going on, this project that we're going to be talking about here. It's up, it's online. You have gotten pretty far in the campaign already, and it's live. So why don't you tell everybody a little bit about what is this story about and everything?
This is the story of John Paris. He's a priest, and he went to Vietnam. In the December 16, 1974, he's about to come home. He and his fellow brothers in arms, but they fall into an ambush. They were almost in the LZ, but unfortunately, the Viet Congs were waiting for them, so they fall into an ambush, and everybody is killed except John. John was about to be executed, and he unleashes power. His power is to bring back the dead. So he brought back his friends, but unfortunately, something got very wrong. The pain that they felt when they were dying, John absorbed everything from the pain and the feeling that they felt at the time, that about not coming back home, and all those sadness and pain that they felt while they were being killed. John absorbed everything. So when he unleashed his power to bring them back to life, because he too was afraid to die, So he unleashes power because he was afraid, and they become those monsters that you see in those pages. And that one is about to save John, and that's it. He unleashes power. The pain that they felt turned them into monsters instead of coming back to life as normal people. So yeah, that is one of the stories inside that book, because there are two stories. The story that is about that hand. John buries the guy alive, and he waits for him to come back, to come out. So that's the thing. If they come out, they will be tortured by Gabriel, the raven, and Michael, the dog. If not, they will continue buried. So while he was waiting for the guy to come out, we know a little bit of his story, because the next book will be about Gabriel and Michael. It will be called The Two Witnesses. Both the first book and the second have the title related to the Bible. So Revelation is about the book of Apocalypse, and the Two Witnesses is one of the chapters. So I want to keep a connection between the characters and the Bible, because John is a priest, or was a priest, because he became a grave digger after the war. And then, of course, Michael and Gabriel were angels of God. And I'm not saying that. I mean, I'm putting John as God, or a kind of God, and Gabriel and Michael as they're angels, but the names are only for having the connection between the characters and the Bible. Only that. I'm not implying anything else.
Gotcha. Well, that's pretty cool, man. It definitely sounds interesting.
Thank you.
I'm definitely looking forward to reading it. It's definitely stuff that I would be interested in hearing. So, good stuff, man. And I love having seen the progress throughout the I think at least a couple years,
Yeah,
um,
2 years.
and
Yes.
then now seeing it come to fruition is just really really cool. So, yeah. So let's see. Let me get back to the screen here real quick. Um, so that's the thing is, and I do want to say hello to everybody in the chat. Thank you for coming and hanging out. You guys all rock. I see all my familiar faces, all my friends here, and people who I think a lot of you guys are familiar with Mario, because he's usually in the chat hanging out with you guys. So, thanks for coming and supporting everybody, and please support the project. The link is in the description. But yeah, man, like how, first of all, I kind of want you to just, if you don't mind, kind of go through like how this project started, and like how long ago did it start, and kind of the story of how it came about, because throughout this process, I mean, I've seen you, it's not like you've haven't had any hurdles through this process.
Wow.
So I'd love to dig into that, man. How did this get all started, and what were maybe some of the struggles you faced right in the forefront?
Yeah. First of all, I decided to make this comic after watching Jeff Lafferty making his own comic, and I was excited about it, and I support the project, and he's one of my biggest influences and inspiration. Jeff has been a huge influence in my determination to do this comic, because I didn't know about indie comics or self-publishing. So when I found out about, one day I saw a video of Jeff drawing, and this style that I love, and we were very I was very into his art, because I could relate to that kind of style, because I was using the same paper and all the supplies that he had, so I had that connection with him. And luckily I was honored to meet him too, and be with him a couple of times. And yeah, that was the beginning. The Zircon art was a big inspiration for me.
Yeah,
And
I mean, Jeff Lafferty has been, I think, an inspiration to a lot of us for sure. And seeing, kind of appropriate too for some of your journeys, like just seeing him and how he's taken risks, to get to the place of creating and making a living and stuff, and
yeah,
it's just super inspiring.
and he quit his job to dedicate himself to his art, and that's excellent. I love cojones to do it, and
For sure.
yeah, I wasn't able to do that because here it's insane. It's if you
Yeah.
art here in Portugal, especially when I'm in. Uh, I've done illustrations. I have two books with my art, but the rest is just if you're not a master or have a PhD on art, it's just nothing. If you're a self-taught artist, it's just put aside, even if you're good. So this is the mentality here when it comes to fine art. Uh, Not so much now because you have a couple of artists that are self-taught and they do something totally out of the box, and then thankfully they are being recognized for what they do. But usually in small towns like mine, you can walk from side to side in 30-40 minutes on foot. So you can imagine now how big the city is. Uh, and I live in a couple of miles from the city in a very small village.
Mm.
So yeah, this is a little bit frustrating for any artist who wants to be seen here, especially in this kind of little town. But
Yeah.
yeah, this. But since I've been showing my stuff online and being on streams, and I've met wonderful people, everybody was so different from here. Everybody has been so um, supportive, and even if I have a question, it doesn't matter if you're well known or not. Everybody will answer your question. Everybody will have 5 minutes to talk to you, and yeah, that changed my mind in a lot of things, because the behavior here is nothing to do with the comic book industry. Everybody is so open, and everybody is about to give you advices, and I've learned so much with that. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's been a blessing to do this, because it's been really a blessing to be able to connect and to understand the how to make a comic. Lucifer's Storm's videos taught me how to write, because I didn't know how to write a comic. So I
Mhm.
spent hours and hours and hours and hours and hours watching these videos, and these videos, he's got a lot of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you have the passion of making a comic, or if you love the craft, you're not wasting time. You are learning. So that's what I wanted to do when I start making my own style. When I was watching Jeff videos back 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago, I was drawing from seven. I would leave my day job at 7, getting home, do my stuff, and 4 or 5 hours every day for months. At least 3 hours every day. At least 3 hours every day for months, and watching videos and learning, and you know, and I was able to evolve, and that's why lots of young artists or young people who wants to draw don't understand that we have to sacrifice our time, and we have to learn and read and listen and listen and listen and listen and listen.
Yeah.
Practice, 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 practice. So
Yeah.
yeah,
And not only that, I mean, and I know that there's at least one or two people in the audience who can relate to this as well. But you had some physical issues to contend with drawing and being able to even do this, right? You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, a few years ago, I was on a factory, working in a factory. Well, I've been all my life, practically, all my working life, let's say, I don't know, more than 80% of my working life has been working on factories. And if it's not working on, freezing cold factory, cutting fish and doing stuff with frozen fish and whatnot. I was sanding. There was a factory that I was sanding all day with heavy machinery. 8 hours, your hands will get very, very tired. And I stopped drawing for 7 months. First time that I had pain in my hands and crisis and shaking, my hands shaking because I wasn't able to draw a line. Man, that was, I thought I was going to quit. Then I was able to come back for a couple of months and then 5 months again without drawing. So I've almost, well, it's been a year practically without drawing.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then I had two strokes on my right leg also a few years ago. I'm waiting for my second surgery right now. Yeah, and thankfully in this factory that I'm working now is not so heavy, but sometimes I still feel pain in my hands and shake
Mhm.
and whatnot. But yeah, lately I've been very lucky, and yeah, I want to draw like crazy now. I'm working on a short story for Gabriel the Raven called the Reaper of Souls, a short story with 8 pages. I'll start drawing next week. I'll start making the first drawings, the thumbnails, because everything is already done. So yeah, it's been crazy because and every time I want to do something, there is something happening. So, like a Jamaican gang member used to say, "Shit happens," and yeah, shit really happens. But
For sure.
man, I failed so many times, but I always found a way to get up. So bring it on, another crisis, whatever. I'll keep doing.
Yeah. And another thing too is this whole thing has marked a you've learned so much. Like you're talking about, like you learned all this writing stuff from our mutual buddy Lucifer Storm, and and I remember before that you talking about like, oh well, maybe I'll have somebody else write a comic for me and I'll draw it or something like that. And then also the other thing that you've learned is you were doing totally traditional at first, right?
Yeah, everything traditional,
And
everything
now you're
traditional.
doing digital stuff.
Now, yeah, now I went from this to digital. Yeah,
Hmm.
but it's very is this is by the way, this is for backer number one. Mike Jimmy from the Netherlands was backer number one. He will get this original art. So yeah, everything was done traditionally at first, but then with the tablet that I have now, the iPad Pro, very easy to draw. I do it as traditional as I can. You know, I'm drawing digitally, but the feeling of doing it traditionally is always in me.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm the same way, and like you, iPad has become, my kind of best friend when it comes to drawing digitally. It's not the same as traditional, but it's pretty close. It's kind of as close as you can get, I feel like. I mean, other tablets are good too, but I really enjoy
Yes,
having it just right there in
so
my
far I'm
lap.
very happy. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And
So,
it's faster. I'm not afraid of inking because I was afraid of inking because I I had a problem about how to take out the mistakes, fixing stuff with the white ink. So I never liked that part of the drawings. I like the process of making the sketch and draw with the pencil. The inking I wasn't never very confident on doing it.
Mhm.
But now with the tablet, it's just everything just goes fluently. It's just start to finish always.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of funny because like I love drawing traditionally. That's what I've done for, I don't know, the longest amount of time in my life. But now that I've done, stuff on the iPad, especially and just digital, there's sometimes where I'm like, I'll draw traditionally and I can certainly still do it. But man, I miss some of the digital tools because there's so much like mesh, like you can just change stuff so easily and then redo it. And I don't know,
Yeah,
there's definitely some shortcuts that make drawing digitally a pleasure, actually.
yeah, a lot, especially when that happens to me a lot. If the proportion is not right, if you draw the head too big or too
Yeah.
small, you can always put it at the right size. But yeah, that was one of the things that I one of the things that I don't miss is that, because I have to go to the light table and and redraw everything, and the head have to be changed. And now it's so easy and fast, and the coloring is just magnificent. Just selecting the zone and fill it, and that's it. It's done.
Yeah.
So
It
yeah,
makes it certainly makes you it can cause you to have a little more empathy for some of my favorite comic book artists who maybe didn't always draw the best proportions in their
yeah.
comic.
But well, you're talking about Rob.
What's that?
You're talking about Rob.
Well, it could be, but even Jack Kirby, like his
Yeah,
proportions
yeah,
are
the two
pretty
of them.
bad,
Yeah, yeah. It's the only thing that I don't like about Rob is not only the patches, but yeah, sometimes yeah. But if you let's say I heard the guy on the streams talking about Rob, and he's right in one point. He's like he's not he said that he's like the our generation's Kirby, because he was inspired by Kirby and he did his version of Kirby with his own style. So that I understand that Rob is like that. He did those crazy poses and whatnot. But yeah, and I didn't like Jack Kirby at the beginning when I was a kid. I was in love with Machine Man because my father had a Machine Man comics. But yeah, I didn't like Rob's art, but and I still don't. But I understand where it's coming from,
Yeah,
But yeah, then. But I respect him as he loves the craft. He's a huge comic book fan. He loves comics. But well, we can't love everything about someone sometimes, But yeah, I respect him a lot, and yeah, he can be a great influence to many people too, because he have the deadline style, like Jack
yeah,
Kirby has the deadline style, like John Romita Jr. has the deadline style, and lots of people don't like Romita Jr. I personally love him at the beginning of his career, but the the latest works that he's been doing, I personally don't like it too, but well,
yeah.
there are people who don't like my style, so that we can't play. We can't put people like everything that we do. So
Yeah, yeah. It doesn't matter who you are. I mean, I'm sure there's people out there who don't. Hard to believe, but I'm sure that there's people out there who don't like Bernie Wrightson or Frank Frazetta. Probably one or two people, but there is
yeah,
probably
yeah,
like you can't
of
like
course,
everything. Not everybody likes everything. So,
yeah, that's true. Yeah,
man, yeah. So I mean, I guess speaking about that, like, you mentioned obviously you don't like Rob Liefeld, not Rob Zombie, as Frank said in the comments, but yeah, and I get it. Like, trust me, I grew up on Rob Liefeld, and there's something that was always exciting to me about what he did, especially back when he was working on X Force and New Mutants and stuff like that. And then some of the Youngblood stuff too. But you know, but at the same time, I totally understand the criticisms and everything. And I don't like a lot of some of this other stuff he's done too. But that being said, I am curious, like, what are like some of the main influences art wise for you? You've obviously mentioned Jeff Lafferty, but like some of the comic creators, that we've seen, more of.
The old guys, I can tell you that you go back to the Silver Age era and just pick a name. Ross Andrew, Gil Kane, John Buscema,
Yeah.
Kirby. In my late 30s, I started, yeah, because but Bernie Wrightson, all those guys, Mark Schultz, Barry Wilson Smith, all those guys, and the new generation of in the late 90s, Alex Ross was a big influence, and that's why I wanted to have the style that I had when I was an illustrator. It was a big influence. And lately, you can start with Christian Rossi from Alterna, man. When I read Trespasser, Void Walker, man, I love his art. Big influence. I'm studying his art right now. Pat Boutin is from Canada. If you don't know him, he's got a crazy style, very stylish style. Pat Boutin is fantastic. Russ Leach, I love Russ Leach. I've got when I got Only Death Can Save Us, man. That was. I'm waiting for the second book. Another influence on the dark side of comics, Lucifer, of course. But yeah, there's a lot of people that inspired me lately, and yeah, Luke Stone from Arrow Comics too. I've been following his job, his work. I haven't backed his books, but it's been a big influence. And man, I don't know. Lately, just a few, but from all my life, all the goodies from back the from back to day, the 70s and early 80s.
Yeah. And you mentioned like not liking Kirby at first, and it's funny. I think that's a lot of people's story, and I think he was an acquired taste, especially when he got into that more like blocky type of action style compared to like his earlier stuff, which is more along the lines of some of the other names you mentioned. But yeah, no, I totally get that. And for me, all the older guys, I didn't love growing up, but again, I acquired taste with Kirby and with all the older guys, because growing up in the '90s, you start seeing McFarlane, and that's what catches your eye.
Yeah,
It's kind of hard to look back and be like, that stuff just looks basic. But now I look back and I see, wow, they had some strong fundamentals in every aspect of their art. The backgrounds were on point, the poses were on point, so much of it was like really amazing. And I love that kind of style too, like just even some basic feathering and like they were more on the side of cartoonists, where they put the right lines in the right places to emphasize the right things,
yeah,
whereas the stuff I grew up on was, let's just put lines everywhere. And it
that's
just,
true.
as long as it looks cool.
But
So
it's I think when we grow old, as long we start to understand and to appreciate other styles that we didn't like back then,
yeah.
So yeah, I wasn't I wasn't a fan of simple style comics and drawings. I was always interested. I grew up in Paris, and I had all those crazy Belgium and French comics. I can show you this one from 1975 that belonged to my father. This is just, you can imagine I grew up with this kind of drawings. So
Yeah.
everything that wasn't like this for me wasn't good, you know. So
Right.
you can see that everything here is perfection, you know. And if it wasn't like that, I didn't care. But now I like style. I like Paul Dini, like his style. I think is beautiful. You know, going from this to Paul Dini is a is a big difference of style. So now I'm 46, so I understand styles now, and I know how things are, and I wasn't sure about what to think back then because I wasn't getting an education, and that's important to get an education if you're making a comic because you have to evolve in two ways. Or you do too much and you never will finish your comic, or you're doing less and less, and there will not be a quality book.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
you gotta have the balance, you know. Drawing well, you gotta draw well, and you have to put quality in there. So you have to create that balance.
Right. And the stuff like you were just showing and stuff, one thing that is great in those kind of stories is the storytelling,
Yeah.
the visual storytelling especially, but obviously the other kind, the writing and all that. So, you can just learn so much from that. So this what you made here, the Sin Killer. This is your first finished comic, really, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Outside of the one short you did, I think, right?
The short is like a trailer for the book. The 8 pages I did for the Arrow Comics was just a sneak peek in black and white about what was going to be the book.
Hmm.
But it just tells a little bit of one of the stories. You'll know that John was in the war because it only shows 2 panels of the war. You don't see anything more. You see the other story that the first story that is John burying the guy alive and coming out, and then stuff happened. But you don't, you just see just a little bit. Just at the end, you'll see to be continued, because
Yeah,
yes, the thing is just to get the reader interested in character. Yeah.
right. That's great. And so, what was like the impetus to this particular story? Like, is this kind of the idea you've had for a long time? You just needed to learn some more about writing, or was this like, okay, I'm learning stuff about writing. What story am I going to tell?
No, that was before sitting back and listen to Lucifer. First of all, I was ripping off the Crow. Basically, everything was Crow related. The guy died, come back alive, and that that was it. And I think I was on page 5 when I sit back and I thought about why I why I was doing that. Was I making a rip off of the Crow, because that was the Crow basically. Yeah, the guy was uh, long hair, beard, and a hammer in the hand, and a pistol in the other hand. But the rest was the Crow. There was even was a Crow in there. So yeah, so I stopped for a while and I thought. I asked myself, what do you like about comics, and what you don't like about comics? And yeah, I was doing what I don't like about comics. I was having what I call the Liefeld syndrome, and yeah, and yeah, after I was thinking about it for a while, and one day I was listening to Grave Digger by Dave Matthews Band, and the story just starts to happen. I needed a place for him to live, where he's going to live. So, okay, I was listening to Pantera's Cemetery Gates, and bang, he lives in the graveyard. He's a grave digger, and well, he's a priest too. And I always loved war movies, and my favorite war movies are from back from the 50s and 60s. And yeah, I always loved war comics too, and I have even veterans in my family. So yeah, it's a veteran. I love movies from the Vietnam War, and everything was coming together thanks to music. And yeah, but I had to put the a crow in there, a raven, Gabriel, and I love dogs, and especially big dogs. And I have a small one, but I love big dogs too. And then John Paris is the name of my father. I wanted to make an homage to my father, and yeah, João means John, and one of the middle names of my father is Paris. So yeah, this book is dedicated to him, also because he was also he loved comics. I believe he was a collector too. He had a bunch of comics, and unfortunately, I just have a few of them because we used to move a lot, and between France and Portugal, and a lot of the comics that I remember were lost, and I just kept a couple of them, and I have them here with me by my side to give me inspiration, and yes,
Yeah,
that's
that's a really cool thing. Having somebody in your life that kind of brought, kind of passed that heritage down, kind of same thing with me. My dad was into comics, and he was really into Superman and stuff. And in fact, I just went and visited him in Delaware a couple weeks ago, and he gave me some more of his old comics and stuff, and it was really cool. It's just, and it's funny because he was like, I bet you could get some money for these and this and that. I'm like, I'm not getting rid of these. This is like, I'm keeping these. Like, and there was
yeah.
even a nice Jimmy Olsen with Jack Kirby, created by Jack Kirby, in there. So I'm like, all right, this is right up my alley.
Nice, man. That's
So
awesome. Unfortunately, my father passed away. I even didn't have the chance to know him well, uh, and yeah, shit happened. But yeah, that's it.
yeah. So I'm curious too, like with the story. You were like you bring in kind of a supernatural element to it. It looks like, and I'm wondering, is that like where I wonder where the influences for that, like, are you like into things like Stephen King, or was it more Bible related? It's just something you're interested in, or how did that kind of element come about within the comic for you?
For the Sin Killer, well, I'm not. I never. Well, I was raised as a Christian, but I'm not a believer. But I love everything related to the Bible because there are some stuff that we can relate it to ourselves and learn from.
Hmm.
And I always loved, since I was a kid, a little boy, always loved all those drawings that the churches. I love to go to churches because there are those amazing statues and those amazing paintings, and I always loved that. And I wanted to make, um, let's say, something related to a priest because uh, I grew up also liking everything related to art and Christianity. Everything was together. And one thing that I want to make on one of the stories is more about. I want to put more sacred art in the. I did a couple of sacred illustrations back in the day, so I would love to go back there to and. Yeah, what was the question? Sorry, I'm tired. What was the
Yeah,
question?
Yeah, no, I was just it was mostly just curious where the supernatural elements were
Ah,
inspired.
yeah.
And I was
Ah,
thinking
yeah.
like Stephen King and stuff, but also like the biblical elements too. So yeah,
Yeah, and yeah, the religion is has been. I One of my favorite movies is also the how do you say, the
and
Moses
commandments.
movie, the Ten Commandments. Yes, one of my favorite movies. Um, when it comes to the story, everything related to the church and Christianity is there. So, but when it comes to the supernatural, I always loved everything from the Exorcist and everything related to monsters and demons and all that. That's why I put there the sinners, the creatures. Um, but especially, I love the big influences that I had for this comic is the horror stories from the Tales from the Crypt and also the EC comic books. That was a big influence, and you see the fluttering also on my in my comic. And I also one of the inspirations that I had a few years to till today is Mike Mignola, um, because the simplicity and the simplicity is there, and the storytelling is there, everything is there,
Yeah,
and how you can do something with so less, not, you don't need to do a lot in each panel. You can do it. That's why I'm studying a couple of artists now that I think that can improve my art style. So yeah.
yeah, and it's kind of funny. Um, the one of the things I thought of when you were talking about your inspirations, and you were talking about the artist from Voidwalker of Alterna, and I was like, oh, you know, you probably really like Magnola too, because I feel like they have I think he kind of gets influence from Magnola as well,
Mhm.
in his style. So yeah, he's amazing, Magnola and the artist from Voidwalker. Um,
Yeah, Christy is awesome. Yeah.
yeah, for sure. Um, so I know that it's late for you, and
No, I'm okay. I'm okay, man.
yeah, but it's no problem. But I did want to just also get back to just letting people know once again about Sin Killer here. Like I said, the link is in the description, so please go and help Mario out. He's got 16 days left. He's 60% there. He's getting
60.
there.
60.
Yeah,
I got a backer.
yeah, that would be me probably.
Oh man, thank you.
I know Keith has been trying to back you
Thank
here
you.
in the chat as well. So he's having an issue with his bank, but I think he's going to get it in there anyways. So
I'm printing in the United States for the United States backers, and I'm printing in Europe for the European backers. So I'm not doing everything here and put a crazy shipping for the United States. So that's it's going to be on Gemini mailer. So it's going to be good quality packaging, and yeah, I hope that people like this book because I'm also making some short stories that I'm going to combine to make the next book. It's going to be a not like an anthology, but the short stories will be connected at one point between the in the book. So if you enjoy this one, certainly you will love the next one because the next one is going to be sick. It's going to be awesome.
yeah. All right, so you're already working on it.
Yeah, I'm working on it. I even post about it on my Facebook. Gabriel, the Reaper of Souls, will be the first chapter of the first sorry the first short story. Is going to be mostly about Michael and Gabriel, John will be there, but just making a cameo or two. But I will go to the origin of Michael and Gabriel because they have a fantastic story. And
That's cool.
yeah, uh,
So it seems like this is going to be, is it just one more issue, or is this going to be a continuing series? Because it sounds like you got some ideas going on here.
yeah, because you know, I started. I want this to be at first. I want this to be a graphic novel, but it's been 2 years, and I didn't have the tablet back then. And when I had the tablet in December, I was able to do everything. I have half of the book done, and the other half was made digitally, so it was fast. And now I have the tablet, I can continue. I was thinking about completing the graphic novel, but I thought, man, I've been talking about this for 2 years. I think it's enough. I don't need another year to finish the book. So I want to put it out no matter what. And now I finished one. I'll tell the story of Michael and Gabriel in the next one, and the third one will be about John, a little bit about John too, the three of them. And after that, I want to continue another IP that I have. I wrote a comic a year or so ago when I was in the hospital. I wrote a comic called The Witch that publisher is an editor is interesting in me to draw it because they like the story. And I have a story called thank you, Jim. And I have a story called God's Pack. It's about Marines and werewolves. A werewolf in each. It's 11 Marines and a werewolf. Each pack have that kind of team, and they fight aliens. And the church is in there too because the church is combining church and the werewolves to fight those aliens. That's gonna be a good story too. But there's so many things that I want to make, and I don't have time because I have a day job, and I have to rest after the day job, and I have to draw. And first I'm gonna finish the Sin Killer, then the Witch, and or combine time to do both. But the Witch I'm going to put that out too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it seems like your
Sorry, I
speed has
didn't heard you.
definitely increased since you got used to using the
Oops.
iPad and
Uh,
everything. Um,
Sorry, I didn't heard you. Sorry.
oh, that's okay. Do you hear me now?
Ah, yes, yes, yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah, no, it seems like the speed has picked up considerably since you got the iPad and you started getting used to it and everything. So
Yeah.
you got your work ahead of you, but it seems like you're a pretty hard worker, and I'm looking forward to these other ideas. I like this alien idea you're talking about, and it all sounds interesting. The second Sin Killer as well, so and the third. So yeah, man, I good luck to you on all that because
Thank you.
you're already showing that you got the chops here, and I think we got some fans of your art here already in the
Thank you.
chat too. So
If you want just for 46 seconds to put the trailer for the guys to watch,
oh
if
yeah,
you
we
don't
could.
mind.
I've never done that before, but I did see that I can show audio. So
It's
let me
not
see.
the music is not copyrighted, so you won't be demonetized if you.
Oh yeah, I don't. It doesn't matter to me even if I am. So, but that's I appreciate that though. So I'm gonna try to do this because I think I have to re-put it in real quick so I can get the audio going. Here we go. So do this. Sorry, guys. We're going to show the trailer here, and I think it's going to be cool to finally try this for once.
Yeah, you can put as it was. Yeah.
All right, here we go. Let me put it at full screen mode real quick.
If you love metal, you'll love the trailer.
Yes. What happened to... And of course, my computer does weird things just as I'm about to do it. All right, so everybody quiet down, and we're going to listen and watch and enjoy the trailer for The Sin Killer Revelation by Mario. Here we go. Nice. That's pretty impressive, man. That was cool.
Thank you.
Where
I
did
didn't
the
want.
from?
I didn't want to put voiceover or me talking because I'm not good at it. So I found that music from White Audio, and yeah, keep it simple and powerful. Music is powerful, and I was able to come to make some kind of relation between the mood of the comic and the music. So that turned out better than I thought. I really enjoyed the trailer.
Yeah, it came out great, and I like that we get to see some more of the cool art in there and everything too.
Thanks.
So I'm glad you asked to do that. That was good.
Thank you.
So yeah, man, I'm really excited about it. I got my purchase in there, and I think everybody else, please, help support. I think this is going to be a cool project, and it couldn't come from a cooler dude who's supported a lot of us. I think a lot of these people who are in the chat also have YouTube channels that have seen you in their chat before. So, it's all love around here.
Yeah, and I would love to be on other streams if possible. So yeah, I will appreciate it because right now I'm at 62%. I think I wasn't able to see it right because I'm on my phone. But yeah, I don't know if I'm going to extend the campaign because I want to give as much as I can to the backers. I gave a piece to backer number 1. I want to give a piece to backer number 25. To backer one of the backers between 2 and 25. And once if I make the goal, everybody will get the physical and the digital supporters will have drawings, digital files of the sinners, of John, everything that I will make till the campaign is over, I will give to the backers, to all of them. So without backers we are nothing. So yeah, I want to give as much as I can, and everything that I can provide of art, even the smallest sketch that I have, I will send it to the backers at the end of the campaign.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's really cool. So you might get a special surprise if you back, and his traditional art is really cool too. Like, so it's worth it, I think. Um, so yeah. And Frank says, who is Mario? If anybody, it is a little confusing sometimes, but if anybody doesn't know,
Yeah,
uh,
no, Frank knows
goes
me.
by
Yeah,
Mario.
Marvi, yeah, I know in the comic book main community as Marvi. So I wanted to put Mario Vasconcelos together. So MR for Marv and V from Vasconcelos, so Marvi.
Yeah.
So yeah, Frank, I know you, Frank, and you know me, yeah, with
Yeah.
another name, yeah.
Frank's always
Yeah,
joking.
we've both been with Jeff at some point, yeah. But to those,
Cool.
but that was creating a little bit of confusion to people because, like Peter Palmieri calls me Mario, you call me Mario. The guys on Default call me Marv. So sometimes can be you don't relate if you don't see my face. So yeah, the radio audience of Indie Vault knows me as Marv too. So it can be a little confusing if you are searching for Marv and not Mario, and you see something online in you're asking yourself, this is from this guy or from another guy. So yeah, that's why I'm trying to get Marv um, as much as I can out there, because it's easier than Mario Vasconcelos.
Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
That's why I haven't said your last name yet because I don't know how
Yeah.
to. So, so cool, man. Like, thank you for coming on. I know it's. I'm kind of surprised I haven't had you on before, but you've always been part of the community here, and I've really appreciated your support. And I hope that this brings some more purchases for you too. So,
Thank you. I'm honored to be here. Sorry, and I was looking for be with you, and yeah, man, you've been awesome. You've been one of my inspirations too. When I start this, and I found you on YouTube. I don't know how. Just I think I saw you. I was seeing you talking about comics and your quest on between your lunchtime and your videos in the car and talking about this and talking about that, and you got to do it, got to do it, you got to do it. And
yeah,
yeah, you've been a big influence too. When I was watching Jeff one day, I was seeing your videos, you know, uh, at the
yeah,
same day. You two
yeah.
were very inspiring. And so thank you so much for that too.
Yeah, man, anytime. We all kind of run in the same circles and stuff. We're all friends, so it's all good. And yeah, man. So thank you again for coming on. I do want to let you go. I know it's late for you.
No, I'm
And
okay. Thank you. More than 11 p.m. is a little bit starting a stream after 11 p.m. if it's not on the weekend is a little hard for me because I have to go to work at 6.
hey,
So I get
trust
up at 6. So yeah, it's a
trust me, I
but
know. I've been friends with all of the art casters since before it even began, and I haven't been on the late night show because of the same reason you're talking about. It's way too late
yeah,
for me. Going on that show would mean I basically wouldn't sleep and have to go to work in the morning. So,
yeah, it's hard. Yeah, yeah, it's hard.
so, so yeah, awesome. I'm so glad. And once again, like you're always welcome on the channel, anyways. And once
Thank you.
one of these days, I'm gonna get the channel back up and running, and we're gonna be making some comics and taking
Oh yeah,
names and stuff. So,
and
so
draw together. That's one thing that I love is being on streams and
yeah,
draw. Yeah, we can do
yeah,
that. Yeah, that
that's
will be
always
awesome.
fun too. We'll have to
And
do
bring
that.
you and put you back on the on track to draw again. So make comics. So yeah, you got to do
Absolutely.
it.
But
Do it.
trust me, when I get these indie comics, like got my little Only Death Can Save Us, and
Ah, you already have those. Yeah,
yep,
that's
yep,
awesome.
and I got this one from my buddy Michael Hang, who's part of the AAA
Wow,
group and everything.
that's
Um,
beautiful. Yeah.
looking forward to yours being on this table as well. When I see those come in, I'm like, man, I got to get to the comics. I got to get back to it. So
Yeah, one thing that I'm pissed right now is about the shipping from the United States to Portugal to Europe because Man, there are so many great comics, especially indie comics, because I don't buy Marvel and DC since the late '90s. So yeah, and the indie the indie creators are making so many great comics. Every day you go to Kickstarter or you go to Indiegogo and you see beautiful piece of work. And it's a shame that I have to pay $35 for shipping. So
Yeah, totally. The shipping is unfortunate, but I'm glad you're able to do what you can, and it sounds like you've kind of found a way around some of this.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. I was lucky for it. Yeah.
yeah. All right, man. Well, thank you again, and we are
Thank
going
you so much.
to end the show. But everybody, thank you for hanging out with us. Once again, the link is in the description. Please help out the best you can. If you can have him on your show, if you have a YouTube channel or something, please do that. Or if you can even just share it on Facebook,
Yeah,
Instagram,
share is
all
very important. Thank
places.
you. Yeah.
Please share the Indiegogo. And with that, we're out. And one of these days I'll have some more videos. So keep an eye out.
Awesome, man. Thank
All
you,
right.
guys. Bye bye.
Thank you, everybody. We'll talk to you next time.